one of the ingredients to growth and impact, this is our mission, is to have clarity. So no clarity on data, you don't know where you're going. So having the data in one place can help you with that. And I think this is the main trigger.
Hey everyone, I'm Todd Nilson and I've been working as a community strategist since 2013. I'm starting a new video series where I'm walking through community platforms with the people who build them. But here's what makes this different. These aren't your typical marketing demos. Community platforms are a major investment. In each of these episodes, you'll get a real walkthrough of a platform with someone who knows it inside and out. But you'll also get my perspective as someone who's been through dozens of platform evaluations and launches. Subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a single episode. So let's figure out which community platforms are actually worth your time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you may happen to be. You've tuned in to talk about your community and the demo series where we're looking at a variety of different community platforms that you get to see maybe for the first time. Maybe you've seen them before and haven't seen the latest updates. I have been really enjoying doing this series as an opportunity to meet founders and learn in a little more depth what some of the community platforms that are out in the market have to offer. And today's no exception. Really excited to welcome to the show Radu and Vasily from Orgo Space. Maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't, but you're going to know them after today because they've got a great platform to show. And I think that we'll be getting into whether this is the right fit for you, and of course the unique value that I think this series offers, which is, as someone who's been in the community space as a strategist for a long time, I've seen a lot of different platforms, and my goal here is to ask the questions that maybe you would be asking if you're thinking about purchasing a platform like Orgo Space for your organization. So with that, let's jump in and we're going to get into the screen share and the demo here as quickly as possible. But Radu, Vasily, welcome to the show. Great to see you.
Thank you for the introduction, Todd. We're really glad to be guests on your show. We've seen some of the other demos and we believe we're great, and we're really glad to be able to showcase Orgo, which we believe is a very good platform because we put our heart and soul into it. And we're really eager for people to learn about it because unfortunately, not everybody knows about our platform, but we really want to get it out there.
I think it's great. My ambition here is I want to talk to every community platform provider that's out there and give them all a chance to have a spotlight and talk about what is awesome about what they do. So glad you're with us today for this. It would be great to understand up front, what was the inspiration behind Orgo Space, and why the two of you? Why did you guys come together as CEO and co-founder of the organization?
Sure, I let Vasily tell the origin story.
Thank you also, Todd, for the invitation. Looking forward to explore the possibilities that your listeners have with Orgo. Orgo started as a hobby initially about, I forgotten years now, 13 years, 14 years ago. I was a vice president of National Scout organization. And also I had some extensive software engineering background at that time. And there were two questions that arose. One, how many members are we in the association? And nobody knew exactly. And the second one was that in a General Assembly, members asked for transparency in the organization. More exactly, to give access to each member to important information.
And so, Vasily, for context for everyone, you're based in what country?
We're based in Europe, in Bucharest, in Romania.
Right. So this is the National Scouts program for Romania. Right. Got it.
Yes.
Thank you.
And out of this, I started to create a platform for the National Scouts. After that, we found out we were 3,500 members. And also the platform offered a portal for any member to access information like events, membership, electronic voting for decisions, and more that we will cover later. After a few years, another association saw the platform, and they said, we want something like this also. And another educational, the second educational membership in terms of membership in education in Romania. After that, we had another association, and we realized. Actually, I was alone at that time. I realized hey, I need to make a product here. This is not gonna work out. So this was in 2018 when I created from scratch cloud first platform, scalable. I had extensive experience with millions of users, e-commerces, and very high availability infrastructures. Let's say I envision, maybe it's a bit too a fancy word, but I imagine this platform can be used all over the world for any kind of association, not only Scouts. And to make it very customizable and affordable, this was another aspect, because when I searched for membership platform that they were very expensive per seat. When you have thousands of members that want access user account, that was out of the question. So I imagine, how can we do this effectively and affordably and very fast, performant, and secure? Another thing is in terms of privacy, that at that time I was starting to see how big tech is profiling the users. Even WhatsApp, you think in WhatsApp you have encrypted data and these kind of things, but you are profiled, so you get remarketed in ads and so on. And being in charge of the association for me was a bit strange to create a platform where your data is sold to ads or internal AI LLMs afterwards and so on. So we after that, this became one of the main things. It's data privacy, and that the organization should own the data. And now, after some years, moving back in the present moment, we have 9 national scout associations around the world from 9 countries, in discussion with some more, and some other types of association like professional networks, alumni.
I was going to ask, I was going to say, like, so it sounds like an ideal customer profile is sort of that association or like a service organization, like the Scouts, or like, I'm in the Rotary International, and I think, like, man, I wish they had something like this as a platform to work in. So really cool. Radio, for the customers that you're serving right now, are there any that are maybe sort of a little more on the edge of that key use case? Anyone that's doing something unusual?
There are on the edge, let's say, because, for example, our ICP, so to say, are organizations that have thousands of members and also have multiple chapters. So they have a degree of complexity that we can serve really well. And let's say our edge cases are more simple organizations that don't have maybe chapters, that have not so many members, maybe 100, 200, 500 members. We can serve those very well, but Orgo is like really proving its worth. Once you get into the thousands of members and you have multiple tens or hundreds of chapters, and that's where Orgo really shines.
Or if you're a federation with multiple organizations, for example, we one of our clients is a federation of 120 universities. So each university has its own members that can join the platform. They can manage. So there is this decentralization in terms of governance, which is like something built in for the Scouts. I think the Scouts are the most, maybe one of the most complex and democratic and governance savvy type of association. So anything that goes in this direction which understand its governance is not something shady or cloudy. They know what they want to do. They have some flows, some registration processes. They have clear structure rules. This is, we can say, ideal customer in the sense that they will really get value. Otherwise, we see organizations that don't understand what they want. We can help with that, but they will not get value, and they maybe will miss that, will understand that it's a problem with the portal, with the platform, but it's a problem with your understanding of how to structure your organization. And also, I'm not saying more about community manager who owns the digital space. Yeah.
Because a lot of clients come with the expectations that, or I have this platform and now my organization, my community will just work out by itself, but it's not the case. The platform is just a tool, and you need to have people within organizations that know how to use the tool. Furthermore, you need to have the organizational culture that have some principles behind it and so forth that can be implemented with the platform itself. So
those are messages that are close to my heart. Obviously, organizations that think that they can just kind of flick a switch and the platform is on, and then people will just automatically start using it beautifully. That world does not exist. And sort of understanding the culture of collaboration, like really talking to the members or the people that you want to be a part of that community platform is so important to do. Well, I tell you what, are you ready to do the screen share, and we can take a look at some of the features together? And you guys shared with me ahead of time that this was you personalized the community for Clocktower. I love it, man. You just did that on the fly, really fast, and I love what I'm seeing here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it took 5 minutes to generate this. I will just to make it simple to be understood. So recently we realized how is the most easy way to transmit what Orgo does. It's a CRM for nonprofits, and in the same time is a community platform. So it's this to combine. What you see here in this sidebar is the community navigation, and there's also the administration navigation, which is the CRM, which implies communication, like newslettering, finance, different kind of management aspects.
Well, this is great. So I'm sorry. How did you get into the admin section again? Oh, I see. There's an admin bottom there. Yeah, that's great. That's great. I love the elegant switch over to that. I see like organizations do that in a variety of ways, and like it's only the admin that sees that piece, but like just knowing clearly where to go to get into the ad. Like I've seen sometimes the admin panel requires you to like go to a completely different screen, or it opens in a new tab, or it like makes the community go away, and then you have to look and hunt for the link to get back to the community. This is nice design. The left-hand layout, that's a pretty common expression of community platform experiences these days. And I love that we get the theming here. This is great. Very nice.
Yep. This is a fresh out of the oven. The
more fresh
smoking community right here. I love it.
Okay, we can go like this.
We haven't yet announced it to our members, so you're one of the first to actually see.
I'm honored.
We appreciate that you like this and you look for this usability. Actually, we don't think we reached the zenith, or how to say the peak of innovation. We realize the user experience is a continuously improvement organism, if we can say like that, in a way. We have these organizations that we address are pretty complex. They are medium to large. And one of our motto is actually quoting an artist, a Romanian artist, Brâncuș, very famous, that simplicity is complexity resolved. So we have this approach. How can we make this, even it's complex, to make it more and more simple? Also with the principle that less is more. And so this is the navigation. Also, there is the Orgo settings, which you can configure a lot of things like branding, like default theme that you launch for the users, custom fields, registration forms, roles and user types, events, a lot of configurations for discussions, categories, type of groups, gamification with tiers, with points per event, courses if you want, email templates, configurations, notification preferences, the default ones, voting, form builder. These are more just enable workflows. You can configure. This is more in the admin. And we're launching now a new action besides send email and tag someone. We run script, which you will be able to not go to Zapier or N8N or other systems. You could run with Cloud Code some script to automate using the Orgo API to automate some kind of flow. So this is something we realized that more and more associations want just a small script, and they don't have the bandwidth to go to Zapier or other platforms,
and
which are more
expensive too to run that. If it's all running out of the one platform, that's great. And I think it's another extension of your use case of having the CRM combined with the community. That's a really standout thing from what I see.
It is multi-language. You can overwrite any text in the platform, any label. You can organize the menu as you want, and you can offer access to certain kind of permissions and certain kind of user types which you define. Also, even you can do put some emojis in the sidebar or set up colors for different group types. So this is, by the way, the community manager has to do some tricks to engage the members. So running this, going to this kind of configurations can be another drop in the jar.
There's a lot of granularity here, which is something that I'm looking for when I'm configuring or managing a community space, like to know that I can get in and I can override the default labels, or that I've got fine-grained controls for roles or rules or automations or gamification. Like it looks like there's a lot of, I'll call it, there's a lot of crunch behind the scenes that I can tell a lot of love, was put into the way that this was built. So, as you've been talking to customers, and you're still maybe a little bit early in your journey with the number of customers you've been able to get, when someone has decided they want to go with Orgo Space, what kind of things have you heard from them are the things that made it an easy decision for them? Like what was it about the Orgo Space platform that they said, you know what, we looked at a couple of different options for ourselves. This was the thing that you did that nobody else did as well?
I think two main aspects. One is subconsciously that maybe we transmit a certain kind of trust in regards to support and security and this data privacy I was talking about. But the other one, I think, is the simplicity, easy to use of the platform. This is actually from when we ask for testimonials, we get this is the easiness to use, talking about that complexity resolved. And the other aspect is the all-in-one platform. At the beginning, we thought this is just another cliche, like a unique value proposition, that all-in-one platform, everyone is all-in-one platform. But in reality, actually, few deliver that. And this combination, so there is the CRM, which can have multiple tools. And also there's the community platform with multiple tools. For example, event tools, communication tools, voting tool. So usually these are tools you have to export data to users to vote, to send emails, newsletters, synchronize segments. We didn't go a bit more onto this, how convenient it is to have the database in one place, especially when you want to do segmenting. We can do segmenting with AI. You can talk with the database and create your own segments and your own reports in natural language. You would not be able you could do that with different platforms, but you need to know automations and MCPs to connect everything. It's not that handy. So we try to bring this convenience to understand your data. Basically, one of the ingredients to growth and impact, this is our mission, is to have clarity. So no clarity on data, you don't know where you're going. So we think having the data in one place can help with that. And I think this is the main trigger nowadays for us in the cloud.
If I may add, besides what Vasile said, is something that I heard from maybe, I don't know, several recent clients that we got that migrated to us from legacy membership platforms. And one of the main reasons cited that for which they really like Orgo is the social media aspect of it, because the legacy membership platforms are more like CRM based, where mainly the admins have access and can play around and see what's going on, but the rest of the community is stranded a little bit. So what they need is a place where both the admin work, but also the community part can come together. We have made several migrations specifically for this feature of like an internal social media, let's say. People can discover and connect with each other, and also we can have discussions. So that's a concrete example mentioned by some of our clients.
So just to clarify about that, so you're saying that some of those customers, they like the fact that this was more than just the CRM for them, but that it provided some ability to have like a social media feed just within their organization, not just their membership, but they have sort of a private space where they could use it as I'll call it a social intranet or a digital workplace for themselves. Is that right? Okay.
Exactly.
Intranet is often used word. And for them, the decision would be, okay, we have the CRM without community. We have to look for a community platform. Right. Maybe they find one. Of course, they find. Then is how we integrate this, especially the user authentication. It's a nightmare. Actually, it's impossible to. It's possible. It's impossible if you're not a software engineer or if you don't have resources.
You're a really good example of sort of that. I think you used the term all-in-one, kind of experience. I've seen this like in the 144 plus community platforms that I've been able to identify out in the space. There is a distinctive movement towards consolidation of features so that you don't have to invest in more than one platform. There are platforms that do this. I see it more often with learning management systems, sort of the marriage of LMS with the community. But I think there is interest, and you guys are a standout example of that combination of the CRM. I can manage my membership renewals. I can kind of keep people connected through that, as well as have the community element of that married together powerfully. So that's really interesting. Oh, I see you actually do have some courses as well.
Yes, and I would add that the all-in-one platforms, also Orgo will miss some of the advanced features, like newslettering, like MailChimp, for example, or other systems, which go very granularly in terms of functionality. But the idea is that often you only use 20% of the actual features. And maybe not 20% actually, maybe 20% you will not use actually from those features. And basically we took the best of the most needed functionalities from newslettering, voting, social network events, because you cannot do it in all-in-one platform to go so deep with the functionalities. And based on user feedback and what the actual organization needed in all these 7 years already now, I think we reached a point where we have more or less everything an organization needs. We still have a roadmap. We still innovate, especially in terms of AI, to understand data with AI. But more and more, what we work on now is not functionality backend, but more in user experience. This is something we focus now.
So you brought up AI and sort of the roadmap, or pushing the envelope with things. Tell me a little bit about your point of view about AI in platforms like this, and how have you expressed it in Orgo space?
AI is like the engine. How engine appeared in society is the same with AI in terms of automating intelligence. I think it can only amplify what the human mind wants to do. So if it wants to do bad, it will amplify that. If it wants to do good, it will amplify. We see this amplification of I hope this is the right word, the results of the effort. We see it in coding. We're not writing code anymore, like I think 0.1% in the last half of year. So, and we deliver with a crazy speed. And we imagine this is maybe engineering is more rule based, and that's for sure. It has more impact, the AI, but in other domains, I imagine yes, I imagine there will be advancements like is with the coding. So I see it very uncertain. I don't know where it goes, to be honest. I hope the humanity, the majority, will have goodwill and will act together. Otherwise, it's a bit of madness.
Well, let me ask a couple of pointed questions here about the platform. So I see I'm in the administration area, and there's an engineer. It looks like I can query using the language model here. I can query member metrics and things like that from within the platform, which is,
for example,
natural language.
Just suggestions. The idea is you can chat more with it, and you can after you chat, you can save the query, and you can afterwards. We have this database queries. You can afterwards just export the data real time. So how it happened for us to do this? We have this feature, custom queries, where organizations send us specific reports which you cannot build in an interface. We build manually, like a query language, and we decided to put AI to create this. So all the data, the data is not transmitted to some LLMs external to Orgo.
That was another question. So I know that with your emphasis on data privacy, that probably figured into how you are using AI in the platform as well.
Exactly. So the entire process happens within the backend, and none of the data leaves to a third party while doing this kind of inquiry.
That's great.
And then, in the future, we're working for data analysis, more like insights, which will happen locally. So and for this this is on our long roadmap. So we need to invest more intelligence here, because not using Claude and Gemini and so on implies that you put some innovation there. It's easy to use Claude nowadays, but if you want to do insights without Claude, well, that's a product.
Yeah. So you maybe use something like Llama or something on the back end, or?
Yeah, but Olama is just a wrapper. It's an interface. In the end, it's the model that we're using. We're exploring, period, how to address this.
Got it.
If we use any model, or we build something on ourselves.
So I love this, the ability to query for analytics for the platform. That's powerful. And for me, like as somebody that's spends a lot of time in the admin section of community platforms, being able to just ask a question of the database and have it help me get to an answer, I'm grateful for that technology.
Another thing is to make segments. For example, I want to make a list with the donors. This is a simple list.
Okay.
We have this list that you create for sending email campaigns, but it already put you the criteria. So you can add criteria. You can construct lists based on day journey payments.
I see.
Especially if it's members, it has more tags. This kind of criteria, you can create a list and you can send, of course, email campaigns.
Basically, you can use the AI model to make segmentation for your newsletter.
Okay.
And make it really granular. So if you want to send only to members that have lapsed subscriptions, or to people that attended the event but haven't donated, or something like that. So if you want to make it like really granular, you can do so with the help of AI.
It's still in beta. We're testing. I think it's been only 1 week we put it live. So
okay. I want to ask, and I know we're a little tight on time here, but I wanted to ask on the front end, like on the member experience side, is AI expressed anywhere here?
No.
So I don't have any. There's no summaries. There's no auto responders or anything like that, built into the platform. I don't see that as a negative, by the way, because I think that like the platform's for humans to interact with.
We don't want to clutter, exactly, to become a robotic platform.
I have seen things that are fine, like suggested responses, for somebody, or summarizing long conversations. Those are fine, but I don't miss them when they're not there. So but having the capabilities on the back end is very useful. The way they think about it. So you had mentioned that you've had some customers who've come in from legacy membership CRMs to move in. So I take it you and your team handle the migrations to get that data into the system. I'm wondering, like, what does an implementation time take for a multi-chapter organization that needs to move off of, I don't know, something like Wild Apricot or something, to move into Orgo space?
For if it's a multi-chapter, if it's not a multi-chapter, usually it takes also 1 day. We have 1 day migration. We had a demo. They liked it in the same day we done the migration.
Right. Yeah.
We have migrations from other systems, membership platforms, from legacy platforms, which usually were built in-house. And from Excels. Some associations don't have nothing. And we've created templates for all of this. And we have a standard how to address the data. We can help you with that. If you don't understand the format you have to export, we can help. And we made scripts to migrate from different kind of membership platforms. And it takes between, I think, 1 to 2 weeks to migrate. Usually it's also on our side, it takes 2-3 days to prepare, but it takes on the organization side to basically to create the taxonomy of the organization. It's a moment when you realize, okay, who am I? How am I structured? How I have the data? And that takes on the organization side some time. And it happens if there is, for more complex associations, there are some it happens to have some custom implementation. And if is that the case, it can take up to 1 month the whole onboarding. Or even, I think the largest was 2 months, but 2 months was very comprehensive.
None of that is terribly surprising for me to hear, but of course I've been through a lot of my migrations. I mean, I think it's been less and less in recent years about the tooling, Like, it's relatively easy, with modern platform designs like this, with a contemporary experience. It's just a matter of me making some configuration decisions, bringing in my branding, understanding how I'm going to, as you said, set the taxonomy, and how am I going to organize my groups. It becomes more decisions about how I want to express the structure of the community experience, for everyone.
Mhm.
And so it's more about those questions of, what do my members want? What are they going to respond to? What is going to be familiar enough to them that it's not going to be a barrier to them using the platform on a regular basis?
Mhm.
And I can picture, particularly, I don't know the extent to which you've run into this with some of the national scout groups that you've worked with, but I can think of, with other kinds of service organizations, you have members who are coming in at all levels of digital literacy and understanding how to use a platform. And so making sure that something like Orgospace is designed, and I'll come back to this again, designed with the simplicity in mind, so that it doesn't become a big barrier for those members to come in and actually start productively using the platform experience. And I'm a big fan of emergent design as well, which, again, with a platform like this, if I need to spin up a new group, I can, but I don't want to create 600 chapters immediately if 600 chapters are not going to be adopting the platform right away.
Mhm. For the taxonomy, I think the hardest part is usually around permissions and structuring the roles. Otherwise, for groups and the member experience, we try to put in the platform everything we understood so far. So we try this to be out of the box as for the member. But where it gets needs more effort is in terms of permissions and making this governance setup. Otherwise, for what is available for the user is usually very direct now. Discussion, events, voting, courses, browsing other chapters, connecting with members. This, I think we're reaching a point where it's very simple. And now it's interesting. We had to do it simple in a way. We have two organizations that are run mostly by senior people.
Yeah.
They are 50 years old associations. And we learned a lot from that. Not overcomplicated with the beginner's mind.
100%. 100%. Yeah. I wanted to note two things here that I haven't typically seen in a lot of other community platforms. And I think it's maybe an effect of, as you had said, some of those organizations are using this as their digital workplace or their private workplace space. I'm noticing that you've got projects over here in the lower left, as well as tasks over on the lower right. And so I wonder if we could maybe take a look at those briefly.
Yes,
This,
some association they don't want to use another project management system again for user authentication. If you have 20 persons that from your 1,000 members association that work on a project, other 20 is on another, good luck with a new platform setting up the user accounts, because yes, there are very good project management tools, but it's hard to integrate the user account, the user management. And this is also used for help desk, internal help desk, where members can write to the national staff or organizational staff. And it's very transparent who is in charge of this, what's the priority and the status. You can manage this. You can configure more who automations who is assigned automatically for a specific type of requests. We have associations that run European grant funds with Orgo, the project management part. So in terms of Gantt, in terms of board management or backlog.
This is really great. I was not expecting as robust a project management tool as I'm seeing here. And I can see a lot of organizations that would prefer to have this, the CRM and the community piece all rolled into one. I mean, that's very powerful. And then you can turn it off, it looks like.
You can turn it off. Yeah. You just can turn it off on a lot of things here.
Really cool.
It's not as granular as you would have it in Asana, for example, but you can do definitely 80% of the things that you need in a project management, and it's everything under one place. So you don't have to integrate or log in, log out in different platforms.
One thing I remember now, you asked what triggered the associations to go with us.
Yeah.
More and more they integrated eVoting.
Yeah.
It's something. It's like it's the cake.
Oh yes.
I want that cake in the menu at the end, because this is the most frictional and most sensitive. There are platforms, of course, they do great job, but you need to export the lists.
Yeah.
Import the list, and this is not transparent and is not secure. I mean, you can just drop a line there. And someone is not eligible for voting. And here is encrypted, anonymous. You have a hash. It's a centralized blockchain.
This is really powerful because as somebody that runs a professional organization right now, board member voting, membership voting is great. It's really nice to have that like in one place, because I've had to go to third-party tools and it is a pain to manage all that. So this is really nice. We're getting a little low on time here, and I didn't want to be remiss in asking some questions I usually ask about things at the end. As far as your company, your team, like how are you guys funded right now? Is this bootstrap? Did you get some private equity? What does the financial side look for you as an organization at the moment?
We are bootstrapped. We have angel investment, and we think we will manage like that ongoing. We don't want the pressure at this moment. We don't want the pressure of VC funding.
Yeah.
And because we do this with our heart. Not only we are mission driven. We come from the civil society, from NGO landscape. We understand the needs. We want to grow the NGO landscape, and we will keep it like that. Bootstrapping is not only me and Radu in the team. We are an extensive team. We consider ourselves lean, efficient company.
I think it's a great place to be, actually. So I love that, and you're not being beholden to a VC that's thumbs up in my book as far as I'm concerned. The other thing I was going to ask is I don't know if you have put pricing on the website or anything like that. I did want to put up a quick link if anybody is interested in getting a demo of the platform. Do this. Yeah. Go ahead and scan the QR code here, or you can go to orgo.space/demo and go ahead and get a sign up for a more granular dive into what's available here. Pricing for the platform, like if I assume since you guys are Romania, it's euros that you're doing your pricing in. What kind of grades of pricing do we have here? Like if I'm starting with a small organization, what am I looking at as an annual starting cost, roughly speaking?
We also have USD bank account, so we can make proposals in USD. The median cost is between $4,000 to $5,000 per year. Of course, we have the also lower. It can happen to have 1,000 per year for very, very small associations, but it can go also much higher. But it's somewhere there, the average, the median, like 5,000 ARR.
Yeah, and that feels right to me too. Yeah, so
we have these plans of we separate basically. We say. This impact is for more automated, more streamlined, more governance-driven associations. also or chapter based. So basically this makes a difference between how we make the proposal. And also if you're very complex, we go on an enterprise deal. Usually this happens with custom implementations. And we have zero commission on top of the transaction fees. So Orgo use Stripe to integrate payments for events, membership fees, donations, and we don't charge on top. So it's the licensing covers the transaction fees.
That's great.
Except the Stripe fee.
So we've covered a lot of ground, but not nearly enough ground. I have the sense we could probably talk for another several hours about the capabilities of the platform, but I will leave that to my viewers who may have additional questions for you and they want to know things about the platform. This is a question for those of you who've tuned in and taken an interest in this demo. First of all, thank you. And I invite you to subscribe, like, comment if you found this to be a valuable use of your time. I'm particularly keen on knowing what questions we didn't ask of you that you would like to have answered in this or future programs. I do try to answer every comment that comes up, so I watch that carefully. And so if there's something that we didn't get to, please jump in and ask about it. And if you have a request for another community platform you'd like to see next, would definitely like to know that. But in the meantime, if you are a multi-chapter nonprofit, association, large or small, it seems like Orgo might be the next home for you online, with an emphasis on privacy, trust, being an all-in-one CRM, project management, back office, sort of platform tool that has the wonderful social elements to it of an online community, and done with a sense of simplicity and aesthetic, of being easy to use. This might be the place for you. And if so, go ahead and reach out to Radu and Vasily. I'm sure they would love to tell you a little bit more about it. In the meantime, gentlemen, thank you so much for spending this time with me and showing me around the platform. I do appreciate all the work that you do.
Thank you, Todd. It's been an amazing day for us joining you, and it was a pleasure. And a great sum up from you at the end about Orgo. Amazing.
And that's it for us on this particular show. Thank you again for tuning in, and be sure to step away from that screen, get out into the fresh air, feel the sun in your face, and watch the birds in the sky, because you can't build great communities unless you take care of yourself first. We will be back here again for another installment of the demo series soon. So keep watch for it on LinkedIn and YouTube. And in the meantime, keep building great communities. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.